evening, everyone, and welcome to this Wednesday, October 19th meeting of the Tallahassee City Commission. For those who are willing and able, I invite you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Almighty God, we thank you for your goodness, love, and mercy. May we be forever grateful for the blessings you bestow upon us. Grant us wisdom in the decisions regarding the matters that are presented before us this evening. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Manager, are there any agenda modifications?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. We had an addition of 5.05 and one item 9.04 from the consent agenda was pulled for discussion by Commissioner Miller.
Great. Hi, good evening again. I now have the pleasure of presenting a proclamation in honor of Public Power Week, Natural Gas Week, and Customer Service Week. And I want to invite all these beautiful people over to my left, led by Mike Tedros, Rob Noguera, James Barnes, Reginald Ofwani, Jane Unger, Sandra Manning, and all of the staff who fall within their departments. That actually sounds about like all the departments of the city. It's all come up. Which department are you all in with the green? The solid waste? That's underground? Yes. Oh, great. Underground utilities. Y'all are welcomed. Mike Tedros does not do this work alone. So we invite y'all. And as they're coming, the proclamation reads, whereas the mission of the City of Tallahassee is to provide excellent services and facilities to support the high quality of life of this community. And whereas in 2016, it marks the city's 115th year of providing reliable utility services, and each October, the city commemorates those services during public natural gas, public power, customer service weeks. And whereas a natural gas is a clean, cost-effective, domestically produced fuel that is used to produce our electricity and fuel many of our vehicles. And whereas the City of Tallahassee's natural gas utility proudly serves over 30,000 businesses and households in Tallahassee, as well as Leon, Wakulla, and Gadsden counties. And whereas the city's electric utility is the 25th largest municipal electric utility in the nation, it provides our community with cost-effective electricity through advanced technology and innovation. And whereas customer service is one of the city's core values, and city employees are dedicated to providing professional and courteous services to more than 250,000 residents and businesses each year. Now, therefore, I, Andrew Gillum, by the authority vested in me as the mayor of the City of Tallahassee, do hereby proclaim the second week of October 2016 as Public Natural Gas, Public Power, and Customer Service Week, and recognize your own utilities as the most valuable and vital community asset. And before you applaud them, I know that we did a public appreciation for many of these folks, and some that aren't with us today, who confronted the challenges presented by Hurricane Hermine, the largest natural disaster event to hit our community in over 30 years. These were many of the folks who worked around the clock to get our community back up and going. And so I hope you'll join me in giving them a well-deserved round of applause for their
Mayor, on behalf of everybody in Citizen Services and the utilities, we want to thank you and the Commission for the support that you give us to do our jobs out in the field. Y'all make it easy for us to go do our jobs with the support you provide. We're fortunate to have such a strong team of employees across our utilities. And that was, as you mentioned about Hurricane Hermine, that really tested and showed the dedication and commitment of our team. And I'm proud to represent the team and accept this on behalf of the team.
Once again, the picture as best we can. Shift everybody.
One, two, three.
Thank y'all very much. Appreciate it.
Look how ready he is.
Mr. Richardson.
One, two, three.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening. It is my distinct pleasure and honor to, this evening, bring special recognition of the 2016 City of Tallahassee Rickards High School Scholarship Program recipients. My daughter is a proud Raider, and I see Mr. Cook is with us, the principal of Rickards High School, as well as some parents that are here. As part of its commitment to the city's South Side, the City of Tallahassee Rickards High School Scholarship Program has funded scholarships, college scholarships for close to 75 graduates of Rickards High School. Since its inception in 1991, the program has offered these awards to serve as a motivation and incentive for Rickards students to give back to their high school and serve the Tallahassee community. Participants receive up to $1,000 per semester, contingent upon completion of volunteer hours at Rickards High School or with a not-for-profit organization in the community, and compliance with scholarship eligibility requirements. To present the awards to this year's most deserving students, please welcome the Director of Guidance at Rickards High School, Ms. Terica Jones. Ms. Jones, if you would come forward.
Thank you. We are very proud of the relationship that City of Tallahassee has provided for our students at James S. Rickards High School, and our awardees this year represented our school while they were there on the cheerleader squad, as well as a member of the marching band and the dance corps, and they are continuing to do that as they are now currently students at Tallahassee Community College, as well as Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. And so without further ado, I would introduce to you all our recipients for this year, Ms. Shekinah Figures, and Ms. Megan Monroe. And again, they're continuing to serve the community at James S. Rickards High School, as well as other places in the community. And our proud principal, Mr. Douglas Cook, will please join us for the photo. Yes, and our parents, we are thankful that our parents are also in support, so you can also join us.
You get in front so we can see.
I now want to invite forward Ms. Jeanette Holliday with NSF International, who will be presenting a certificate to the City of Tallahassee and to Mike Tadros and his team. Ms. Jeanette, come on forward.
Fingers today.
I know who you're talking about. Is he wearing a green shirt? Is he wearing a green shirt?
Everybody? All right, it is my distinct pleasure to be here today on behalf of NSF International to present the City of Tallahassee Underground Utilities and Public Infrastructure with their Certificate of Recognition and Achievement for ISO 14001-2015. This is a newly revised international standard that's considered to be the environmental pillar of ISO standards, supporting the three pillars of sustainability: economic, social, and environmental, to ensure a balance is achieved today without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. The City of Tallahassee Underground Utilities and Public Infrastructure continues to demonstrate strong leadership by being a real leader via early adoption and implementation of this important newly revised international environmental management system. They are the first public utility globally to achieve ISO 14001-2015 registration with NSF, and we are so very proud of you. We've been proud of you since 2007 when you first partnered with us for your first EMS registration, and we continue to be proud of you and your growth and your determination to continue to excel and be leaders in your field. So congratulations.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioner, City Manager, appointed official, it's indeed a great honor to be here today to receive this certification. With this, I want to thank everyone in underground utilities and public infrastructure for dedication and for adapting the culture of continuous improvement. With this, Mr. Mayor, allow me to recognize a couple of employees that are with us today. I recognize Joe Cheatham. He joined the city in 2005. And since then, he introduced the environmental management system to our staff. We adapted, and it was the foundation for us to earn the Florida Sterling Award in 2015. Also, I want to recognize Chuck Zygmunt. He's our compliance manager. Where's Chuck? Here he is. Hi. He took the lead with the stringent rules with the EMS, and I really want to thank them. And in closing, Mr. Mayor, Commissioner, I want to thank you for your continuous support of setting the standard and the guidelines for us to serve this community to the best we can. Thank you.
Go Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Hey.
Commissioner Miller.
Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor.
Hey there, everybody. Tonight we've got some really good congratulations that are going to come to some folks who have through their commitment, have opened up some doors to a city program that we're now going to hopefully be offering all through the government. In last April, our new, I want to invite up Brian Smart, by the way. Brian is our new wellness coordinator, and the wellness program partnered with Star Metro in a pilot project to where fitness and nutrition were highlighted to individuals willing to make changes in their lives to increase their productivity and their morale and their overall health. An unused office space was used, and it was converted to a small fitness room, and Brian worked with, and I would like for her to come up, Lauren Blackburn from Boot Camp Fitness. And I think we'll go ahead and bring everybody up here too. John Phillips, who was the biggest weight loser of the program, Andrew Brown, Martha Hoover, Timmy Richardson, Sabrina Alexandra, Arnetria Thomas, and Rosemary Bosby. These guys need a big, big congratulations for us because since they were successful, they show that this kind of program will work, and it's their testimonials that we've been talking over with management to make sure that that program that they were able to participate in will be offered to other people. The new wellness coordinator, Brian Smart, worked with Star Metro senior management to select individuals to participate. They met once a week with a registered dietitian and several times throughout the week with a fitness trainer. And so joining us today are those two individuals who, well, and actually along with John Allen from TANC Fitness, he couldn't be here today. The program was designed to educate and basically jumpstart their journeys into healthier lifestyles. And we have pictures on a loop that we'd like to show, before and after pictures, and you can see that these folks really feel a lot better and feel good about what they did. 3 of the participants had a weight loss of more than 9 pounds, with 1 losing a total of 14 pounds. The average weight loss of all participants was 6.6 pounds. Several were able to reduce their medication and take part in outdoor activities that they previously couldn't do, and they've indicated that they feel better and feel more energetic. I'm going to let Brian take over, and we're going to award these 7 individuals that are here with us today with a plaque honoring them for their success.
Thank you, Commissioner Miller. I particularly want to thank the Commission and Mr. City Manager. Thank you for your support for this program. It was a lot of fun this past 4 or 5 months, getting updates weekly from Laurel and her staff over at the Tallahassee Boot Camp Fitness Training. But these are the ones, these guys behind me did all the hard work. So let's give them a round of applause one more time. And I definitely want to thank Mr. Terry Lowe and Angela Baldwin. Thank you for your continued support and allowing us to convert an old call center into a state-of-the-art fitness room over at Star Metro for all of our staff at Star Metro. So thank you guys. And in doing so, we have a small recognition for our folks tonight. Mr. John Phillips. Mr. Andrew Brown. And he has a really great story, in particular his young daughter, and I'll get a chance to share that later on our Facebook page on wellness, but this program not only impacted himself, but his daughter, and that's a really great testament to this program's success. Miss Martha Hoover. Mr. Timmy Richardson. And Miss Sabrina Alexander. And finally, Miss Rosemary Bosby. Thank you.
Because these guys are successful and because they had the testimonials that they did, it really speaks to how these types of workplace programs can really make a change in people's lives. So I'm really excited about it.
right. Commissioners, I'd like now to take the opportunity, and I will not read the entirety of his bio, as I hope he'll give a little bit of an introduction of himself. But as you all know, our staff have been very busily putting together the new Office of Economic Vitality for Tallahassee and Leon County. And I'm proud to share with the public that we do have a new director, its first director, Mr. Al Latimer, who brings with him over 30 years of dedicated economic development service, and comes to us most recently from his work at Enterprise, Florida. We're exceedingly happy to have you on the team, Mr. Latimer. Would love to invite you to make any comments that you deem appropriate at this time.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilman, Commissioners. Let me just say it's an exciting time to be in Tallahassee. I'm truly honored to serve as your new Director of Office of Economic Vitality. The community assets here are just rich. You've got an airport that has incredible potential. You've got universities that not only are creating talent for tomorrow's workforce, but also provide commercialization opportunities for entrepreneurs. Partnerships throughout the community, as evidenced by coming together to create a strategic plan, has just been tremendous. Doesn't exist in a lot of communities. You may think it does, but in my previous role, I was one of my responsibilities was the partnership. Stakeholder and partnership director for the state of Florida's principal economic development organization. So I had the opportunity to go into a lot of communities, and a lot of the feedback I got was that if we could just all come together, we could do so much more. Tallahassee, you've conquered that, and I am excited to be here to help you implement the strategic plan and achieve the absolute optimum level of economic vitality. So, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Al. And in case it was lost on any of y'all, Al spent 5 years with the NFL and actually helped to recruit the Jacksonville Jaguars. We will not hold that. No, I'm joking. We like the Jaguars. We like the Jaguars, but Commissioner Richardson is demanding an NFL team in Tallahassee by way of your work. But if you all
And if we
join
can't
me,
get an NFL team, we'd like the Dolphins.
we'd like at least an extension team of the Dolphins. The two Miami boys talking here. But will you all please help me in welcoming Al Latimer to Tallahassee, Leon County. Commissioner Ziffer.
To also point out that Al Latimer and I went to high school about 3 or 4 miles from each other. He's a little bit younger than me, but not much.
All right. Nice. Thank you and welcome again, Al. Commissioners, we're now at the point of the meeting. I'm sorry.
If I may.
Oh, please, yes.
No, yes, sir. Thank you. I'd like to, it's my pleasure to take a couple of minutes and introduce our two newest international fellows, Mr. Sumjay Indavong from Laos and Mr. Na Rang from Myanmar. They arrived here Saturday and will be staying with us through November the 12th. As part of their time with us, they will learn firsthand about the city's legislative process, governance practices, citizen engagement, public-private partnerships, and sport offerings, including attending the Get Downs, the Tallahassee Symphony, and touring our beautiful city. This is the 5th time that we have hosted international fellows through the International City County Managers Association Professional Fellows Program. The exchange program is funded by the U.S. Department of State, and it's administered by ICMA, and it's a part of the larger Young Southeast Asian Leaders Initiative. Participants in this program have the opportunity to spend 5 weeks in the United States, including 4 weeks working directly with nonprofit organizations, state and local governments, and private sector office across the country. Please join me in welcoming our fellows.
And both Na and Samchu join about 40 other international fellows from Southeast Asia who are in the United States doing visitations. I believe they arrived first in Washington, D.C., are spending almost 3 or so weeks with us. and then they'll rejoin the cohort back in Washington, D.C. before returning home. I know y'all didn't prepare for this, but if you'd like to give a greeting, the floor would be yours.
You don't have to.
Rule number one, U.S. politics, be ye ever ready.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Somjai Indarong. It's my great pleasure and honors to be here to attend important meeting and to work with the teams of the city of Tallahassee and of course the leaders of Tallahassee. I'm representative of Laos. Currently, I work at Trade and Product Promotion Department under the Ministry of Industry and Commerce. We come here, we try to learn the good governance practices of Tallahassee and the U.S. of course. And I would like to learn, to gain more knowledge about how the local governments of the Tallahassee develop the policies and provide services to the citizens, and of course to provide leadership in sustainability. And in particular related to my jobs and my organizations, I would like to gain more knowledge and exchange to Tallahassee organization is that how organization in Tallahassee develop the policy to grow the young professionals, to grow the entrepreneurships and small businesses, because I thought that small business is key driving to improve our community and of course in my countries, because recently my country is focused on mining and natural resources, but it's not sustainable. So we try to improve our existing resources to be more competitive in regional and international market. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm very excited to be here. And firstly, I'd like to thank you very much, the city manager, city commissioners, and mayor, and everyone for hosting us here. I'm Norang. I'm from Myanmar, formerly known as Myanmar. East border to China to the north and east, and India to the west. So, and like I said, I'm very excited to learn how the Tallahassee city government cooperate or collaborate with the other non-profit organization or other local government together in addressing some issue, because these are great challenges in my country to collaborate with the government and other CSO or something like that. So I'm very excited to learn from here, and also so thank you very much on behalf of ICME and to you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And as you all picked up, Somchoi is obviously with the government and now is with an international non-governmental agency, and is particularly interested in how NGOs, or as we would call them here, nonprofits, work with the government, hold the government accountable. And I believe he has a specific interest in how you hold the judiciary, the judicial branch, more accountable to their citizens. So welcome again to both of you. Happy to have you here. Commissioners, we're now at the point of the meeting where we will hear from citizens on agended items. Mr. Treasurer Clerk, are there any speakers in the queue?
There are no speakers on our agended items, Mayor.
Okay, great, thank you. Commissioners, we're now on consent items. Item 9.04 has been pulled.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Has been pulled from the agenda, so if there's a motion to move the remainder?
Well, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to also pull item 9.06 for discussion.
9.04 and 9.06 pulled for conversation, discussion. Is there a motion on the remainder?
Move consent.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the remainder of consent. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion passes unanimously. Commissioner Miller, 9.04.
Thank you, Mayor. I had pulled this because I wanted to make sure that this topic gets the exposure that it deserves. We're entering into a period where we're going to attempt to rewrite and marry our land use element in our comp plan with the mobility element and revise that. And it's a major lift. Our staff is here to fill everybody in, not just my colleagues here, but also the public, to let them know the opportunities they're going to have to give input in the project.
Good afternoon. Cherie Bryant with the Planning Department. Let me move back. Let me go to the beginning. That is a good place to start. As Commissioner Miller mentioned, we are in the midst of doing an update to the land use element, after a very initial review, it became evident that it was important to also look at the mobility element, because transportation and land use, although we've looked at them separately for many decades, are so intricately tied together. When what we've done so far, just to get everyone, remind everyone, we looked at the state of the land use element. That's when we went in, that was the results of the staff's initial review, brought it back to both the city and county commissions. And then in May, we did a preliminary assessment of community values. At that point, we had applied for a grant to hire a facilitator, and we did not receive that grant. What we were asked to do is to bring back a public participation strategy in the event that we didn't get that grant. So that's what we're here today to do.
Commissioner Miller?
No, not right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The purpose of the participation strategy is to, of course, to encourage a strong input from the community as a whole. Although there's some key steps that you'll see in most strategies for outreach, we did want to make certain that we structured this one around the fact that we're building on some recent outreach and visioning efforts, such as those that were surrounding Blueprint extension, and to go where people are. There'll be central meetings, but we also want to make it a very important aspect of this is to reach out to people where they are. You've seen this graphic, and you'll continue to see it. Right now, we've wrapped up phase 2, and we're into the phase 1, and we're moving into the phase 2 section currently in the fall and winter. Just very quickly to recap, when we came up with those draft principles, first was to look at all the visioning efforts that have occurred over the past 10 to 15 years, because we didn't want to reinvent the wheel. There's been a lot of outreach in the community and a lot of voices heard to date, and we didn't want to just ignore those. So we went through those, picked out through the cooperation with our stakeholders group, identified the preliminary community values, also presented these to the LPA, and then the preliminary principles that came out of that. We've met once or twice to go over these in joint meetings with the county, so I'll be happy to go back if you'd like, but wanted to at least make the public aware that those things are available, and we can go into more detail if anyone wants to contact us. So now we're moving into, again, I wanted to show where we are in that green. We're moving into the public outreach for those draft visions, and from there, well, actually, that's going to be the bulk of our outreach in the next few months, is to hold 5 workshops, not just at one location, but out in the community where it's easier for people to come to after work. They don't have to try to come downtown, but to hold them where people can easily just perhaps come to them on the way home from work or to the grocery store and stop by after their regular day. We would then, as needed, when we move into the next phase, the blue and the pink, when we move into those phases where we've actually have some goals again, do the same sort of outreach. And then once we have the goals and objectives and we move to that last phase of developing the policies, again, take them back out one more time. We'll be looking to coordinate not just with large organizations, but for those large organizations, though, we want to actually go to where they're having their regular meetings. For example, the Board of Realtors, KONA's regular meetings. Then for smaller community organizations, that we'll be reaching out to them, inviting them to come to those larger meetings. One piece that we want to do to make it available to make access available for those who may not be able to come based on their schedule is to have an online engagement tool, as well as some of the others, newspaper, newsletters, all of the regular outreach possibilities. People will also be able to participate through LPA and Commission meetings. And finally, this is going to the County Commission next week as well. And then we'll be doing an update with the local planning agency on the 15th.
Great. Thank you. Commissioner Miller.
When Sheree and I discussed this item, I had to ask her if there was anything that she needed to make this happen. And the main thing that she mentioned, and feel free to jump in at any moment, was that they need the resources to put together the online piece of this. So I just wanted to bring that up tonight. And the other part, when we talked about the coordinator that we tried to get the grant to pay for that, what did that person need to do? And a lot of what she has expressed to me that that person needs to do is not the planning piece so much as we want the planners to stay at work planning. We need somebody that can coordinate events and set up all these workshops, because that's a tremendous amount of work. And we came up with the idea of using interns from the communications departments at the universities. And I think that might work out well for you, and then you'll be able to manage them to do that grunt work, essentially, not to belittle their contribution, but event planning type work. And so I think that I wanted to share all that with all of you to let you know where it was, and also with the public. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Sheree. Any other questions? All right. Commissioner Richardson, item 9.06.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I flagged this issue not to suggest that we not award the bid. Mr. Mayor and Commissioners and the City Manager and I have discussed this, but to highlight some issues for our MWBE program to consider as we go forward with items like this. Because what I'm hoping is that we will get to a point where our MWBE program is rebranded and actually becomes a part of our economic development initiatives, and is not seen as a program that is forced on anyone or is cumbersome or burdensome. But in this particular bid, it was interesting that there were only 2 minority firms that submitted a response to the bid. And I know that in just the little neighborhood where I live, there are 4 lawn care services that service our neighborhood that are all minority owned. I know there are lots of Hispanic lawn care services. I'm sure there are some women owned, but yet we only had 2 minority firms that submitted responses to this bid. I don't know what the reasons were. I don't know if it was that it was not noticed wide enough, or that they didn't have access to the online system that we use in order for these businesses to submit their bids. But obviously, there's an issue there that we need to address as we go forward to make sure that this information gets out to as many businesses that might be interested in doing work with the City of Tallahassee as possible. According to the City Manager, there is an online system that we use, and there's a fee involved in that. That might be an obstacle for some of these businesses, or it may be that they're just not getting the word that these opportunities are available with the City of Tallahassee. So that's an issue I think that we need to address. The other issue that stood out for me in this bid was one of the minority-owned businesses where the low bid was $50,000. This business submitted a bid of $1.1 million for the same project. And so that was a red flag to me to suggest that maybe this business owner needs some assistance in how to package a bid for projects like this. And the city manager tells me that Raul has spoken with that gentleman or individual, I don't know if it's a gentleman or a lady, and they're going to come in and talk with staff about how to do that. But there are, I'm sure, resources in the community through the FAMU Small Business Development Center, one of the minority chambers, or maybe there's some other resources that can work with businesses like this that might be interested in doing business with the city, but simply don't have the knowledge of how to do that or the resources. And obviously, that was certainly a red flag to me. And so that's why I wanted to bring this item to our attention. And then even with the low bid itself being $50,000, the other bids were above $100,000. And so I kind of questioned whether or not this person can actually do the job for $50,000 when the other three bids were all over $100,000. Maybe they can. We'll give them the opportunity to show us that they can do that. But that was another issue that jumped out at me when I looked at the bid prices. And so those, Mr. Mayor, are just some issues that our MWBE program, I think, should be aware of and involved in as we go forward with our procurement program with the city of Tallahassee. And I just wanted to bring those issues to the commission's attention. And like I said, the city manager and I have already spoken about those very issues.
Great. Commissioner Maddox, followed by Commissioner Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to bring up a different concern, similar on the disparity in how low the bid was. I want to make sure that we're doing the compliance work that we need to do to ensure that this work is being done well. Mm-hmm. So I continue to get constituent complaints about right-of-way and medians that are not being cut or being cut haphazardly. Specifically, Mr. Wilcox and Mr. Shoemaker contacted me about Piney Z, sent me pictures that shows they are coming and making a pass and not really cutting like they should cut. So if we could have some kind of staff process to make sure that once we, of course we want to go with low bidders, but once we award these contracts that we're going behind and making sure that the work is being done to the level of service and standard that is listed in the RFP and is a level of service that our citizens have grown to expect.
Commissioner Miller.
Well, I share the concern for the huge gaps between the low bid and the high bid. I mean, it's just pretty phenomenal. So obviously there's a different perception as to what's involved to do the job. How long is this bid for? I mean,
3
this
years.
contract.
3 years with.
Is there, I'm not so sure I'm comfortable with that at the point we're at in our discussion. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to maybe give this a year and see how it works out and have it renewable for 2 more times, but not the 3 years.
Can someone on staff either now or maybe in follow-up, this may or may not be something we can bring back after we get some clarification, but does the dollar amount seem out of bounds? I don't know who to direct this to, but does it seem out of bounds for, this isn't our first time hiring people to cut vacant lots, so I'm curious to know what the history has been in this.
Hello, Mayor and Commissioners. Yeah, we did talk to the vendor that had the outlier amount of $1 million, and they indicated that they had never submitted a bid to the city and really didn't know what they were doing, so that outlier number really is not a real number. And as Commissioner Richardson said, I've directed the procurement staff to meet with him and talk to him about the process and how to submit a bid and how to do that. On the low bid, the $50,000, the vendor has confirmed those prices and said that he will do the job for those prices. So we have contacted him also, knowing that there was such a discrepancy between the 50,000 and the million, and he has confirmed that those prices are good.
Have we bid this service before?
Yes.
And the range?
We know the range? Yeah, we can get that.
Is it possible maybe, I don't know how time sensitive this is, that we can get?
We can bring it back next week.
Okay, Commissioners, is there any objection to having this brought back next week?
Thank you.
Commissioner Maddox, followed by Commissioner Richardson.
I just want to recognize it's a procurement. So if I don't mind bringing it back next week for more information, but if we're going to change term or price or anything in the RFP, I'm sure that the city attorney is going to tell us that we need to cancel the procurement and go back out with an RFP.
Commissioner Richardson, followed by Commissioner Ziffer.
Yeah, on a different item, but a related topic, Mr. Mayor, I got a call today from, one from a contractor and one from the Big Bend Minority Chamber concerning the RFP that's on the street for the Waterworks building. And the concern is that there is not an NWBE requirement in that RFP. And so I had a question about that and why in that particular contract or RFP there was no NWBE.
Commissioners, Ziffer, is your inquiry on this, on the?
It's just a suggestion. It's a conversation the city manager and I have had before. I just wanted to bring it up. When it comes to work that's performed by vendors for the city, and this doesn't apply for all work, but a situation where it's, let's say, the mowing of a lot or a median or something like that, it sure seems to me we're at the point now where it might be beneficial for at the end of the job, because I'm sure our vendors have them, is they take a quick photo and they send it in, and it's kind of shows that the work has been done and it's been done appropriately and adequately, and that way it's not a matter of us having to go back a couple weeks later after the fact and it's grown and so on. So I think there may be a time when we start to look at bringing ourselves a little bit closer to the technology that's available and requiring our vendors to do maybe a little bit more than they have.
Got it. Raul, did you have a response on the?
Yeah, I just spoke to staff, and they said that the prices on the low bid are comparable to what we've paid in the past for similar lot sizes. There's different lot sizes related to this bid, but the pricing is pretty comparable to prior contracts.
I'll move approval.
There's a motion to approve.
Mr. Mayor, I didn't get an answer to my question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
about
The original question was on the
NWBE.
Let us get you something, Commissioner.
Okay, Commissioner,
Okay.
they'll
Okay,
get you
we can
something.
do that.
So there's a motion, and I'm not sure if there was a second.
Second,
There's
this
a-
is for the
The
cutting
lawn,
contract.
the 50,000.
I'll go ahead and second that.
There's a motion and a second on the procurement 9.03 as presented by staff. All those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Commissioners.
Mr. Mayor, I believe that was item 9.06.
I'm sorry,
Was the
what-
mowing contract, correct?
Not sure
Yes,
what I,
9.06.
not sure what I said, but yes, 9.06.
And
Also, Mayor, I don't think it's clear that there was a vote on 9.04.
We did vote.
after the presentation of the comprehensive
After the
plan.
presentation.
Oh,
Got it, okay.
Move the item.
Move
There's-
approval on
There's a
9.04.
motion and a second to accept the strategy as presented by Cherie tonight and documented in item 9.04. All those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion passes unanimously. Commissioners, we're now on city commission items, and the first one, 11.02. And this is the joint city-county bicycle
I'll move acceptance.
working group. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no.
Zero
Motion passes unanimously. Item 11.02.
I'll move acceptance.
There's a motion and a second for acceptance. All those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion passes unanimously. Now on item 12.01, introduction of ordinance. City Attorney.
This is ordinance number 16029, an ordinance of the City of Tallahassee updating the capital improvements element of the 2030 Tallahassee-Leon County Comprehensive Plan, providing for severability and conflicts and providing an effective date. The first and only public hearing will be set for December 14th, 2016, at 6:00 p.m. in the City of Tallahassee City Commission chambers at City Hall. Please note that there has been a change of the public hearing date. It states in the printed materials October 26th, but in fact, the public hearing will occur on December 14th, 2016.
Great. Without objection, show the item introduced. Commissioners, we're now on to policy formation and direction. Item 13.01, City Manager.
Yes, sir. Item 13.01 is the City Commission Policy 104. That's the audit policy, and Mr. Fletcher is here to present.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This agenda item is to recommend a couple of changes to the City Commission Policy 104, which addresses the audit function. The policy is set to sunset in November, so now is an opportune time to come and bring these changes to you. The first change is to recommend that the policy recognize that we follow two sets of professional standards in the City Auditor's Office. We follow government auditing standards that are promulgated by the Comptroller General of the United States, and we also follow international standards for the professional practice of internal auditing that are issued by the Institute of Internal Auditors. This change is a result of our last peer review. The only recommendation that the peer review group had for our office was to modify the policy to recognize that we follow these standards. Both sets of standards address independence, objectivity, ethics, integrity, planning and conducting audits, reporting results, and doing follow-ups. The second change is simply to acknowledge that any audit that we do and issue a report, the report is a public record. The way the policy is written, it could be interpreted that if we did an audit pursuant to a special request from management or from you, that the issuance of the report could be controlled. But based on Chapter 119 Florida statutes, any audit we do, the audit report becomes a public record. So made recommended changes to acknowledge that. So our request is that you adopt these changes.
Is there a motion? Commissioner Ziffer first.
Mr. Mayor, this is the stuff that we're all here for. This is the exciting agenda items, and so I want to go ahead and move option one.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Sam can hardly contain himself.
He can hardly
Well,
contain himself.
I got a second item.
Oh, good.
That's a little longer.
He's on a roll tonight. There's a motion and a second to approve stated changes. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. Motion passes unanimously. Item 13.02, City Manager.
Mr. Burt, Maura Burt.
Okay. Mayor, Commissioners, this agenda item presents our proposed fiscal year 2017 annual audit plan. It was prepared by using a professional risk-based approach as provided by the standards that were just adopted into the policy. We identify all the auditable areas in the city, and we evaluate each area using criteria such as fiscal impact, the experience and knowledge of management, public sensitivity, threat to public health, safety, and welfare, and the risk of loss, noncompliance, and fraud. As part of that process, we solicit input from a lot of different groups, neighborhood associations, each of the citizen advisory committees, the ethics board this year, as well as city management and appointed officials. We also have a website for which the public can give us input. We do get some good input from that on occasion. This year's proposed plan includes several projects that are being carried forward from the prior year plan that are in progress, several new products, new audits of new areas, and as always, follow-ups to address management success and the issues that we've identified through our audits. I believe, if I counted right, the plan this year provides for 12 new audits and 9 follow-ups. I also want to mention that there's always more to audit than what we can do. And so it's always a challenge for us to select those areas that we think we can provide the most benefit to the city. And this plan represents what we believe that we can do the best for the city for this year. The plans has been discussed in detail and reviewed, approved by the Citizen Audit Committee. So tonight we're requesting your approval of the plan.
Excellent. Thank you.
Second.
There's a motion and a second for approval. Commissioner Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to obviously vote and approve this hard work that you've laid out for yourself for this year. I just want to, while it's on my mind, as I read this, I was thinking about what I should have told you that I wanted to audit, and I really don't want it audited this year, but maybe for next year, and that is the Chronos timekeeping system. I think after having another year of that, it'll be ready to be examined.
Timely.
Yeah, and we have addressed that to some degree in our overtime audit on public works that we released this year, but we can look at it certainly more in depth.
Thank you.
Mr. Auditor, could you tell us if the commission throughout the year wants to add an item urgently? Our process for doing that would be to flag it with you for us to bring to the commission for a decision. What's the best way to control workflow?
The best way to do that is for you to request, the commission to request me to do that in a meeting, which has occurred in the past. I think the policy and the charter gives you the prerogative for one or two of you to come to me, and I also have the prerogative as the city auditor to change the plan as long as I report it back to you. But that can be done, and has been done in the past. And we actually budget hours considering that could occur.
Good.
Great.
Thank you.
I know before the meeting I heard Commissioner Ziffer in the hallway inquiring about the latest GASB updates. I'm not sure if you want to go through that now or you want to. No.
What did I do?
General accounting, operating.
Yes, I did. That's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good.
Thanks, man. I got you. I listened. Commissioners, there's a motion and a second to approve the audit work plan. All those in favor, let me know by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, sir. Commissioners, we're now on to item 13.03, City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item 13.03 is an update on hydro divestiture. Earlier this year, you authorized staff to begin negotiations with Eagle Creek Renewable to transfer the ownership of the Corn Hydroelectric Facility from the city to Eagle Creek. We have been working with Eagle Creek, the state of Florida, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, and Duke of Florida since that time in an attempt to complete the transfer. At the time you approved staff to move forward with this transfer, we had identified that we expected this work to be take approximately 6 months. Rob McGarry is here this afternoon to give you an update.
Mayor and Commissioners, we wanted to, as the manager said, briefly bring you up to speed with where we are with the divestiture. As y'all recall, we've operated the hydro facility since the 80s. We have 2 controlling documents, a lease with the state and a license with the federal government. We own just the generating equipment at the facility, and the state owns all the underlying property, the powerhouse, the gates, the earth dam itself. What has generated our look at doing this and the recommendations we made last year was our our federal operating license expires in 2022. And under their licensing process, relicensing process, if we wanted to relicense it, we would have to start that process with a submittal that's due no earlier than January and no later than June of next year. It's a 5-year licensing process with the federal government. So we came to y'all last October, actually right at a year ago, and advised you that our recommendation was not to relicense the facility. This was based on what we see as the cost of operating the facility current as compared to other renewable alternatives like solar, and also some risk issues. At the time, we had been approached by a third party that was interested in assuming the responsibility for operating the facility. Y'all authorized us to enter into a due diligence period with that company, Eagle Creek. We came back in April of this year with a proposal Eagle Creek had made to us that they were interested in acquiring the facility dependent on the state agreeing to the lease transfer or lease assignment. Duke, Florida, whose transmission lines are used to get the power from the facility to us, agreeing to transfer those transmission rights to Eagle Creek, and us entering into a purchase power agreement. And you authorized us to move forward with the formal negotiations, and if those didn't work out, to move forward with a surrender petition to surrender the federal license. After that approval, we targeted the Duke approvals and the state lease to work through those before we got into the PPA. We think that the purchase power agreement would be simple. Since that time, Duke has indicated a willingness to transfer the transmission rights to Eagle Creek under the same terms and conditions the city currently operates under. And under the deed, when the facility was transferred to the state's ownership in the 70s from Duke's predecessor, Duke had a first right of refusal for anyone else to operate the facility. We've been in discussions with Duke, and they've waived that first right of refusal. So we're really down to the lease issue. The Florida Department of Environmental Protection is who administers the lease on behalf of the State Board of Trustees. We've had a lot of discussions with them over the past year, mainly in the last 6 or 7 months. They have now identified that they have got to do a formal RFP process in order to assign the lease. They've engaged a consultant to do that. We are working with them on setting up a schedule for that and how we manage it. One of the issues is they own part of the facility, we own part of the facility, and how we deal with that. I think we've got a plan we've worked out with them on how to go forward where they can make certain representations with respect to our willingness to do a purchase power agreement and transfer the assets, similar to the deal that Eagle Creek proposed, so that the state can do a cleaner RFP process. But we're still working with the state on that. One of the timing issues is if a renewal application's not submitted by June of next year, whoever wants to license the facility has to go through a new licensing process, not a renewal. So depending on the timing of the RFP the state's doing, there may be a challenge with that for whoever takes it over. But that's where we are right now. We wanted to come and give you a quick update on where we are today. We'll be back here in a few months, hopefully, with an update once we have a better idea of how the RFP process that the state's going to put together will go and what challenges we see.
Either way, it's our intention to retire the facility if it is not transferred.
Correct. And y'all have given us the authority, if we can't make the transfer work, to go ahead and file what's called a surrender petition with the federal government, give up the operating license, and that would automatically transfer the facility back to the state.
Great. Rob, while you're here, could you just speak to, the last time you were up discussing this, the solar farm, the commission, I thought, pretty unanimously talked about the local work aspect of it. Is there any update on the status of those conversations around trying to get negotiated into this agreement, some conditions around hiring local?
We did go back and talk to Origis after the commission meeting and suggested that they watch that segment of the commission meeting and reinforced y'all's desire and interest for local participation. They sent us a reply email. I know they committed to work with us and working to get local participation. I don't remember the details in that email. We can forward that to you.
No, yeah, I forwarded it to the commission, and it was very positive. I mean, their reaction was that, yeah, of course we'll do that. Sure. And as a matter of fact, we're already dealing with local engineers, and they named them, and local firms. So there was, it was extremely positive. Right. I re-forwarded it to you, though. Great.
I think my issue specifically around the opportunity for folks to actually install the panels themselves, which I understand that there's kind of a business model around how that all works. So look forward to hearing some feedback on that.
We're going to continue to press them on that.
Yeah, and Mr. Mayor, I was particularly impressed with their commitment to the MWBE component of that as well. They were very emphatic about their willingness to, or their history, actually, of working with minority and women-owned businesses.
And that's been their position every time we've discussed this issue with them.
Right.
Great, thank you. Commissioner, thank you, Rob, very much. No action is required on that, Commissioners. We're now on to item 13.04, City Manager.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Commissioner Maddox.
Thank you. Briefly, prior to being elected on the commission, I represented this vendor in another item. While I don't believe I have a direct conflict, out of an abundance of caution,
Conscience and
I'm
caution.
going to declare a conflict and leave the chambers while the item is being discussed and voted on.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yes, sir. Item 13.04 is asking you to authorize the execution of contract with No Petro for compressed natural gas fueling services. We partnered with No Petro in May of 2012 to create the first public compressed natural gas fueling station in Tallahassee. In 2015, we elected to pursue the construction of an additional facility at Star Metro. Prior to selecting a vendor to construct a new station, No Petro offered to revamp the terms of the original agreement, providing the city a discounted price, priority service, and enable No Petro to expand CNG service in Tallahassee. We believe the new terms best meet the needs of the city and CNG users throughout Tallahassee. This item requests your approval to execute the attached agreement with No Petro.
I'll move the item.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Commissioners, just want to note that I've been following this. I think it was maybe in Tampa or Orlando, and I saw this sign that said no, another station similar to ours, and I inquired as to where they are, and they're in all parts of this state, all parts of the southeast and expanding over the country, and Tallahassee is still its first jumping off point, and we are its first client in conjunction with the school board, and so good to see the growth of that company continue and expand. If there are no other questions or comments, Commissioners, there's a motion to approve. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion passes 4-0. Commissioner Scott Maddox not voting. Commissioners, we're now at the point of unagendaed speakers. Mr. Treasurer Clerk, are there any speakers?
Mayor, I have two speakers tonight. The first is Erwin Jackson. As he approaches the microphone, I'll remind our speakers that we would appreciate their name and address for the record and let them know that they have 3 minutes for their remarks. There is a light to the left of the microphone, but I will also remind them when those 3 minutes have expired.
If you give them to me, I'll pass them out.
Okay. Yes, sir. I'm going to see if I can figure this out. Dr. Erwin Jackson, 1341 Jackson Bluff. 4 years ago, I asked this commission to address the fact that Scott Maddox was violating the city charter by not living in the city limits. Unfortunately, you looked the other way, chose to ignore this violation of our charter. Scott Maddox stated under oath that he's been living with his family in an office building on Adams Street. He also wants the public to believe that his personal residence for over a 10-year period, which is located in the city limit, is actually sitting vacant. The picture above here shows his personal residence. He's got a 4,400 square foot house, 2,400 square foot guest house, swimming pool, pond, fishing pond, sitting on 9+ acres outside the city limit. And Scott says this has been vacant. Scott's utility bill at the office building is running about $100 a month, while the vacant house on Meadowwood runs over $700 a month. Scott's sons say that they live at Meadowwood. His wife's driver's license says she lives at Meadowwood. A few months ago, Scott even told the Leon County Sheriff that his home address was, you got it, Meadowwood. Even Scott's dog, Blue, was seen inside Meadowwood House the other day when legal papers were dropped off. This document that I have here, and I've given each of you commissioners a copy of it, will prove that Scott has been lying to the public and violating our city charter for 5 years. Now, unfortunately, your city attorney is doing everything possible to keep the facts and that information away from the public, and that should not happen. We can resolve this question tonight. I like the public out here. Raise your hand if you really believe that Scott's going to live in an office building instead of this estate. We've got one person, okay? We've got two. That's not very many, Scott. That's a losing hand. Commissioners, why are you spending city tax dollars defending Scott's lie? It is your sworn responsibility to defend the charter. Scott's father is now recently going to help out this Scott in this scam. He quick-claimed one of his houses to Scott that he can claim as in the city in the future. Scott, let me say this. You do not live in an office building. You don't live in your parents' house. You live with your family and your dog at Meadowwood Court. Scott, are you going to ask your 2 college-age sons to lie about the residency or your wife? You've lied for 5 years. You've embarrassed yourself. You've brought shame on this commission, and you broke the sacred trust with the Tallahassee voter.
Excuse me, your time's expired.
I therefore, in conclusion,
Thank you very much, Mr. Jackson.
ask that you share.
Your time's expired.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate it.
Next speaker.
Next speaker is Laura Rogers.
I have a question later.
And Sam Rogers.
You only get 3 minutes, Laura. Sam, you're out of luck, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Laura Rogers, 1741 Marston Place.
Sam Rogers.
Same address. I'd like to thank Commissioner Ziffer for bringing to the commission a few months ago the issues regarding the contract with CT District Parking to enforce the parking meters along Madison Street. My family was very concerned when we found out that they wanted to enforce the meters for 24 hours a day and would ticket and tow violators. We feel strongly that this would have caused people to make the wrong decision of driving home to avoid getting ticketed or towed after a night of drinking. Our oldest son, Brooks, was killed 5 years ago next weekend. The companion of Jordan Griffin, the young man driving drunk, was asked that night why Jordan was driving when he was so obviously drunk. He told them he didn't want his car towed. We are glad that consideration was made that only tickets will be given after 2 a.m., but there are still concerns about this agreement. It is much safer for the public to have a car sitting at a meter until the next morning than a drunk driver on the road. We are very proud and supportive of Commissioner Ziffer's requesting that he get with the city attorney's office and with the city manager, Mr. Fernandez, to create an ordinance that will place more flexible late-night parking and towing restrictions and consider this throughout citywide. We appreciate your thoughtful consideration.
Thank you both very much.
Thank you. If I could follow up, because I know how painful this is, but thank you, because I think your notes earlier meant a great deal, and I think they carry some weight with this commission. And the fact of the matter is that we do need to do whatever we can to try to keep young people or anyone off the road. So for what Laura just said, if we could try to work together and figure out whether it's citywide or we identify certain zones. I will tell you that I met with a representative of Florida State today and plan on having a conversation with Florida A&M, and they suggested to me that they are in total agreement that whatever they can do to try to keep young people off the road, particularly when it comes to the idea that they might have to drive because of towing, we need to try to eliminate that. So thank you. It means a great deal, you coming today. So if we could work towards that, that'd be great.
Here, here. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Commissioner.
If I could, I just wanted to respond to, I normally don't respond to Mr. Jackson, but just a couple things that are out there that I thought it's worth responding to. Of course, I don't claim that I live in an office building. Mr. Jackson knows that. It is not an office building, it's a house. I'm not claiming to live in my parents' home. That's the first I've heard of that fabrication. He said that I reported my home address as the house outside the city limits to the sheriff's office. That's not correct. What he's talking about is a trespass warning that was given to him by the sheriff's office at that address for him trespassing. So the attacks by Erwin Jackson are not new to any of us because we've all been attacked by him. Of course, he famously said how Mayor Marks would be let out in handcuffs and he would be arrested by the FBI and it was going to happen any day and it'll be this Monday, then that Monday, then this Wednesday, then this. And of course, it never happened. He attacked Commissioner Lights, he attacked Commissioner Katz. It's been going on a long time. He's been rejected now by the federal government, by law enforcement agencies, by the supervisor of elections, by the state attorney, and by the Florida Commission on Ethics. So why does he continue to do this? Is it a hobby? Does he crave the limelight? Or is he simply unstable? And you got to ask, why only the city? I mean, so why only us? Never another government, even those that are under active criminal investigations. Not a peep. Always about just the city. Perhaps he has an agenda. But you know, it's easy to shrug off and ignore, like we were all going to do tonight because it happens every time. You just ignore and move on. But I want the public to know that it comes with a cost. The first is a fiscal cost. This government, the taxpayers, have paid tens of thousands of dollars to deal with frivolous complaints directly from one citizen. Tens of thousands of dollars. That has a fiscal impact. And then finally, probably the biggest impact, we're not going to be able to find good people to run for office because the cost of public service is too high. This man has stalked my family, taken pictures of my children, put me through numerous investigations, all unfounded. He's done it to the rest of you on the dais as well and others. But good candidates, good people won't become candidates. Perhaps that's his agenda as well. But the bottom line is, when this complaint is thrown out and found unfounded, like all the others have been, and I'm confident it will be, I hope at some point it's the end. You know, and I pray for you that you can find peace or help or counseling, that at some point you can that maybe deep inside and say, perhaps I can be part of the solution or any solution rather than costing people, taxpayers' dollars and causing grief to people's families. And now, by the way, a new low, my dog. My dog has now been involved. So I'm just hoping that, at some point there'll be an end to this. If not, it is a sad, sad, sad existence. So I'm going to pray for you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner. Any other, Commissioner Miller?
I would like to at least share with the public, have our attorneys share with the public what the city attorney's office saw in this case and why they wanted to intervene. So if I could turn that over to you.
Well, first of all, the most important thing is the city is charged with maintaining its charter and supporting its charter. And it is a foundational document for the city. It sets forth the duties, rights, and responsibilities of the city. In that document, in Section 13, it specifically provides that the City Commission is to be responsible for the election and qualification of its members, subject to review by the courts. So it's the city's responsibility to first review these matters and make a determination. The court last Thursday agreed with that, finding that the city had a direct and immediate interest in these proceedings, and that is why we are involved in the litigation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Ziffer.
So this week is Florida Government Week. And one of the things that local governments try to do during this week is volunteer in support of local organizations or charities that are important to the community. And I know that a couple weeks ago we had a proclamation regarding this, but I want to personally thank again my colleague, our colleague, Commissioner Nancy Miller, for her steadfast, focused work on the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk, and Melissa Ingram, her aide, because the hundreds, whatever, thousands of hours probably they've put in to raising an exceptional amount of money is truly appreciated, I know, by the American Cancer Society, but also by this commission. You set a real example for what all of us try to do, and that is do more than just sit up here, but carry what we can do out of the community and do good things. So thank you for all your work. For making Florida Government Week for the City of Tallahassee special. Thank you.
Here. And thank you, First Vice President. And I'm sure you want to mention that this coming Sunday.
There it is.
Sunday, the cap event of the campaign is the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk, which is occurring this coming Sunday at Cascades Park. That is going to involve music and food and just general hoopla most of the day. And registration starts at 1 o'clock. The walk starts at 3. We're going to walk all the way over to across the brand new bridge, over to Anita Plaza, and back up all throughout the park. It's going to be pretty much fun, and it's certainly for a great cause. And I want to take this opportunity to thank Commissioner Ziffer for really heavy lifting on fundraising, also all of the involvement of everyone. We have the American Cancer Society this year has a new program called Real Men Wear Pink, and we have 3 of those people up here, and which would be our,
Mine's real hot pink. It's real hot.
It's good. It works.
It's so pink it's red.
Our city manager and Commissioner Ziffer and Commissioner Maddox, and Commissioner Richardson's aide is also one of those folks that's helping to raise money for this very good cause. So please, people, join us on Sunday. If it's a great cause, but it's also going to be a lot of fun. Thanks.
And Commissioner Miller, I made good on my commitment
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
contribute $1,000 from my leftover campaign fund.
Excellent. Say that in the microphone.
Right.
That's wonderful.
Nice.
I have something.
Yes, please.
Eventually. I have one other thing to share. I want everyone to know that I am not running for office on this year's ballot. You'll see my name. That is not me. I would never choose to run against my friend Bill Mumford, so do not vote for me on this ballot. Wait until 2018, but right now, for this year, it is not me on the ballot.
Well noted. I've heard that announcement now a couple times.
I hope so. Tell everybody else.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I had a couple of sharing of ideas. The first one is, in the past, in 2012 and 2014, we provided a fare-free day for Star Metro on voting day, on the general election voting day. And I was hoping that we could do that this election on November 8th to provide anyone the ability on election day to ride the bus for free.
Is that a motion?
That's so moved.
Second.
It's a motion and a second, and it is consistent. I believe we've done this a number of cycles now. The commission's taken affirmative action in that direction. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion passes unanimously.
And then one more item. When I was in Broward County, asking the Broward County Commission to assist, along with the city of Fort Lauderdale and others, with our effort to bring JetBlue to Tallahassee with a Tallahassee-Fort Lauderdale flight, I got into a little back and forth from the microphone with my friend Marty Kier, who's the mayor of Broward County, and my friend Commissioner Sharif, who are both Miami Hurricane fans. And they both gave me the U during my comments. So I made a wager with them that the losing team would have to wear the other team's jersey at a commission meeting. Well, Commissioner Sharif, I have not yet seen a picture. I do have a picture, and it's been posted on Facebook, of Mayor Kerr wearing a Seminole jersey and doing the Seminole chop. And so I wanted to thank all the coaches, players, and staff of the Florida State Seminoles for keeping me from the great injustice of having to wear my Hurricane jersey, and specifically to thank my friend Marty in Broward County for being a class act.
Nice, thank you. Commissioners, other sharing? I just wanted to mention one. Last year's retreat, we had thrown out this idea of a pitch night by bringing together the collective buying power of government agencies to hear from some of our entrepreneurs, the donor station folks sharing workspaces. Just want to let you know that that is still moving forward. You're going to hear from the city manager around a date for that, which will happen during Startup Month. Next month, in collaboration rather with the city, the county, the state of Florida, Florida A&M University, FAMU, TCC, and the hospitals. The collective buying power being that we're kind of the largest purchasers, if you will, in the business space. Hearing, I believe it'll be between 7 and 11 pitches of ideas that they may be able to, again, on their own, negotiate relationships with and consider whether they want to move that forward. The other idea that I sort of threw out in the context of that conversation was around how it is we have our RFP process now, which is the request for proposal, but how do we allow folks to bring ideas to us? In fact, there are a couple of examples. Commissioner Maddox, previously there was an idea that was brought up, and I'm lost on the specifics, but it was basically an idea. It was like, we're not doing this. Someone then came in after we had invited their bid. They brought the idea to us. They may or may not have been the ones that were awarded it, but basically it was our way of letting people come to us with an idea. Same thing with the parking that happened. We talked a little bit about that tonight, the updating of the parking. So you're going to hear from the city manager on this, and Dustin also in my office around this idea of a RFI, request for ideas, that works in the reverse. Means we don't put it out. The public comes to us, the private sector comes to us and says, hey, we discovered this thing. We think it may be interesting. A committee of city staff would evaluate, obviously in conjunction with all of our laws and rules and procurement practices, and then determine whether or not we want to issue a request for proposal that allows anyone to then compete should the idea be at a level that requires that procurement practice to come into play. But I wanted to give you the heads up on that this is a little bit of a culmination of work over the past year in trying to build some partnerships and figure out how this ITN thing may work. And then lastly, it's debate night. Hope you, that's what they call it. But I only mention that, frankly, piggybacking off of Commissioner Maddox's comments earlier, that there really has been enough vitriol in this political season to last us all a lifetime. And I think the more that we can inspire good conduct, good behavior, absolutely keeping families and personal lives out of the public arena, I think the better. And so I'm hopeful that once we get beyond what this has been on November 8th, that we'll continue to set examples in our own community of what good civic participation looks like, what it means to be in the game, to do good, and then what it means to be the other. Yes. If there are no further sharing of ideas, City Manager, no, sir. Administrators, we're adjourned. Enjoy.
The guys I work with, and they were very safe. We didn't have any accidents, and to go into work those amount of hours and in that kind of a situation that you've never been to a place, and in the dark back alleys and back lot lines, they did good work, and we got some really good linemen here at the City of Tallahassee, and I'm very proud of them and the work they did.